Mondays and giving you some value addition. So today it is going to be IELTS, IELTS, or maybe International English Language Testing System. So I hope you will join, you all will join, you will join soon, because today I'm going to deal with the entirety of IELTS or IELTS. I'll speak about what it is, I'll speak about what are the four major components that you should take care of. I'd also speak about the details of the four parameters. I would tell you each and every example of it. I would also let you know that which are the platforms that you can get associated with, and also few other online sites where you can practice it and maybe master the IELTS. The time it takes to overall mastering this language and the minimum gap that you should keep and not beyond to appear for IELTS. So every detail that you want to know in terms of how to appear in IELTS, today is this session for all of you all. Now, why I am harping and stressing on this is because I'm very sure that you all must be eyeing for something big in your life. Let's say if you're trying to settle in doing MS in any foreign country, whether it is US or whether it is any South America, North America, any part of Europe where English is the secondary language considered, I think this should hold a lot of value to you all. Now, this as a topic I have taken purposefully. Why? Because I have been getting a lot of queries as to, sir, we have done much, we have done enough, and we wanted to just have proficiency in English. How to bring about proficiency in English? Hi, those who have joined, can you just confirm that my voice is utmost audible and I am visible to brightest spot in the men's morning? Anybody who has joined, can you please confirm whether I am audible, visible? Please. Sahil, thank you, dear. Oh, Bapre, you are also there, ma'am. Dr. Rock, pleasantly surprised. I never thought that you would be joining. And it's a matter of great privilege that we have Dr. Rock. She herself, is a teacher. See, I've got nervous, because coming in front of, again, contemporary like you, see, that's the nervousness. So she is here and she is damn good a teacher, great learner and great follower of the English language. So I think if she's there, she's definitely there for purpose. So I hope I'll get a lot of insights from you as well, in case if there is any correction, in case if there is any updation which is desired, required. I believe that you are always there. So it's good to have you on this platform. Thank you so much, ma'am. Right? And today, as I've already started to get to detail you all that what I'm going to take today, and this is purely to do with IELTS. It is to do with the paper based or the computer based, how it is. We'll also touch base on the countries, especially Canada is very, very close and very dear to India and Indians. We'll talk about the how the equated form of IELTS in Canada has or holds a relevance in our totality of understanding IELTS as a concept. So let me begin that there was first question which was asked, and the gentleman who asked me said that, is there a difference between paper based IELTS or computer based IELTS exam? So I'll get started by answering this question and then slowly build up on all the aspects, all the parameters of IELTS exam, its understanding, nuances, tips, examples, and which are the online platforms where you can go and maybe on yourself, augment yourself, have a better understanding of IELTS. So let me answer this straight away. There's no difference between the paper-based IELTS or the computer-based IELTS. It's only about what medium you are comfortable in. Like if you are fluent in maybe writing papers, go ahead and do it. If you're not fluent, maybe with the computer, then the first option is better. If computer is what you think you're confident of, I think that's what you should be doing. So if you have difficulty typing on keyboard, as simple as that, then it's better you take paper based. Otherwise, there's nothing else that you will find a difference. To clarify further, I'll walk you through each section, right? And if hold that this holds a lot of responsibility, so just hold on to this. Many people think that both versions of IELTS, that is the paper version or the computer version exams, are different, and think that the content varies too. The content means the number of questions, the types of questions, the difficulty level of the passages that are asked in the reading form, and the essay questions are different. The test duration for both paper-based and computer-based exam is 2 hours 45 minutes. It's 2 hours 45 minutes. Even the scoring pattern is the same for both the versions of IELTS exam. Now the medium in both the exam varies. In the paper-based exam, you have to manually mark the answer on an answer sheet. As simple as that, because you are provided with the answer sheet with pencil. Whereas in the computer-based exams, you have to use the keyboard to punch in your answers on the computer itself. Now, it is recommended to choose the computer-based version. Why? Because we all are getting competent with the online platform nowadays. The entire shift of offline to online has made us more competent than yesteryears. So, I would say computer-based versions are even otherwise good. If you have a fast typing speed and you are good at computers, else it is always recommended to go and appear for the physical paper test, right? The manual one. Otherwise, you are going to waste a lot of time. Now, reading section, let's talk about this. In both the 4 parameters that I was talking in my promo video, let me get going. I hope I am doing my bit, ma'am. English language learners club that you represent, I think there is still a lot to do with English language. There are a lot of people who may not even touch the average part of it. So in our endeavor, I think you and me put together, I can definitely vouch that we are here only to give assistance to those people who need us, right? Otherwise, I think we are not needed in the society. There are plenty of people who are doing good job, and we are doing our bit, ma'am. Thank you for that great statement there, and maybe a confirmation, validation. Thank you so much, and I wish you the same, ma'am. Thank you. So I'll touch base upon moving further. We'll touch base on the 4 parameters of IELTS, and let's see each and every those skill sets that reading, writing, listening or speaking has, what kind of weightage they have, and how that is to be understood, practiced, and maybe go as close to the point band that you are looking at, and maybe go further to working, or maybe studying in a university which is of great importance to you, right? So first, let's touch this on the reading section. In both the variants, I'm talking about both the variants, whether it is the paper based or the computer based, the reading section is 60 minutes, right? Now, it's a 60 minutes long and consists of 40 questions and all, be it academic reading or general reading. So both form, it has 40 questions. In paper based, you will see the passages on a question paper booklet. On the other hand, in computer based, you will have the same passage on the computer screen. As simple as that. Now, the difference is that in paper based, you can write the answers in the question paper and transfer on the answer sheet. But in the computer based, you straight away have to write on the computer. That's the simple understanding which you and I have it, right? Now, the best part about CBT, the computer based test, is you can have passages on the left hand side and questions on the right hand side. So you are seeing, mapping your answers, you are able to analyze it and real time put it on the right hand side as an answer. So it is really easy and convenient to read and answer the questions. Second, you can increase the font size. The best part is, if that is not legible to you, so you can go ahead and increase the font size, right? Number third, you can highlight the text as needed. So there is a highlighter provision. You just right click, select highlight, and in paper based you just cannot highlight the text. You know, there's a limitation to writing something on the manually, and you cannot highlight it. You need to have separate, and you are writing it with pencil, so you cannot use other pens or color pens for that matter. Now the next point is get used to scrolling up, right, and down long articles. The best part is you get used to scrolling up and down long articles to get used to the reading passage, because the comprehension is important, and navigation passages on screen becomes easy when you're working on the computer. Second is listening skills. So listening section in the computer base, you directly type the response on the computer, but the only advantage is you get individual earphones, which makes the recording more clear, right? And each correct response is awarded as 1 mark. In both the version, it is the same, whether it is computer based or manual based. Now, finer points of listening section is, even though you are given a pen and a paper, you need to type your answers directly into the computer. Now, this means you need to be able to listen and type answers at the same time, real time. Second concern is, some questions require you to type an answer. Others require you to drag words from one place to another, and others require you to select boxes. So computer-based test, they differ. Hi Pratik, you're there. Good to see you. I'm sure that IELTS will appeal you a lot. You moving on and explaining that you really need to get used to the different ways question can be answered on the computer for IELTS listening. Next highlight would be transfer time. You have only 2 minutes, boss, to check the answers, and not 10 minutes. So within 2 minutes, you need to recheck whether you have written the correct answer or not. Now, next concern is, if you don't know how to move from one section to the next, you might waste valuable time figuring it out. Next concern, please get familiar with the page look and feel on the computer-based text exam for each question type. You can get a sample for each question type on the IDP website. So go and visit this IDP website as well. Coming to the third part, the third challenge is writing section. In the paper-based test, you have to write your responses on the answer sheet, and in the computer-based test, you have to type the essay, report, letter on the computer. So if you have a good typing speed, then you can finish off your writing task quickly and you don't have to worry about your handwriting. As simple as that. Now, if you have good typing speed, you may get extra time to review and edit your writing task. That is another advantage to you. So you don't need to count the words here, because the computer will show you the number of words count there itself. So it's easier to edit in case if you want to update and maybe you're falling short of words, you have a real-time task to update yourself, see how many words counts are there, and you can alter it accordingly. So you can cut, copy, paste, everything is possible in computer based. Your typing should be very adequate. That's the only prerequisite required. Now, however, there is no difference in the speaking section. If you consider the fourth section, speaking would not have any great difference. In both cases, the speaking test will be conducted 1-to-1 by an IELTS examiner. So I hope I have given you the insight in the first section itself that how computer-based and paper-based IELTS are differing. All the nuances, please take a note of it. Now, let us also go beyond and see that for future test takers who are wanting on this platform and who are maybe looking at this video, who are wanting to take the test in future, forthcoming, here is a guide to help you in the part 2 of IELTS speaking. Part 2 of IELTS speaking, right? Now, whatever the question is, try to answer at least 4 out of 5 of this. What is this? The W's, the 5 wives and 1 husband, I'd like to detail them out, right? And what are they? The W, the 5 wives starts with WH80 what? First, I'm stressing on this, I'm repeating that at least you should appear for 4 out of 5 W's that I'm mentioning here. What? First. Second, where? Third, when? Fourth, why? And fifth, how? So I'm mentioning you not 5 wives, in fact 4 wives, which is what, where, when and why, and 1 husband, which is how. So that's the concern. Whatever part 2 speaking has, I think if you are addressing it in this way, simple, what of the topic, where of the topic, when of the topic, why of the topic, and how of the topic, I think you are able to understand and maybe give a meaningful answer, a logical answer for part 2. Sure, Pratik, I'll definitely, Pratik will catch up. See, I come up with a specific agenda every Sunday, and I wish last Sunday also I told you that अब हम लोग एक बार बात कर लेते हैं, और मेरा नंबर यदि आपके पास नहीं है तो नोट डाउन 8208314211 कॉल कीजिए, मैं आपका केस स्पेसिफिक समझकर आपसे डेफिनेटली बात करूंगा प्रतीक, राइट? आई होप यू आर लिसनिंग टू मी. आई होप I'll definitely find time for you to resolve whatever the concern is, right, Pratik? So coming back to 4 wives and 1 husband, now let me explain to you with example, right, Pratik? Great. So doing this will help you speak longer. First, for instance, you are asked about your favorite shopping place, let's say. You should be able to talk about what the name of your shopping place is. 1. Second, I talked about where. Where is this shopping place located? Karthik, very good afternoon. We are dealing with IELTS today, dear, so just stay for some time. The third W is when. When or how often you normally shop there. So if you start answering what, where, when, and how, why of your favorite shopping place, and how long you visit, what is the frequency. So I think you are able to speak for a longer length. So understand, I'm giving you a tip for the part 2 speaking of IELTS test. Take help of this. You will have a better staying power there, right? Also, elaborating and stretching as an example is, if you are to talk about a topic like your favorite food, then you should be able to discuss what it is first, where you normally eat second, right? At home, restaurant, which is the place. Third, when or how often you eat it, why it is your favorite food, and how it is prepared. I think if you are taking a note of this, then you will fare good in your second part of IELTS speaking test, right? I hope you have taken down it very seriously. Now, reading and writing are highly correlated, boss. If you are after a writing band of 7, you need to get your written essays checked by someone who can point out the mistakes you are making. That's the reason while you are pursuing or making hard way or work towards IELTS, I think you need a mentor. And that's the reason I recommend that you join professional classes and maybe do all of it what I'm trying to make you all understand. If you follow all the nuances what I'm able to jot down for you all, and I'm explaining on this platform, 1, and second, take and help of someone who's a mentor to you, who can understand, pinpoint fault, and correct you grammatically. I think that's more than enough for you. So reading and writing is a challenge there. Now, a lot of people waste a lot of time going to English learning centers and mastering grammar. Not all is needed in terms of grammar while you are doing your IELTS. You will make mistakes for sure. However, can you string a few error-free sentences is the main question, right? The task is, if you are able to frame correct grammatical sentence by yourself, or maybe meaningful, error-free, that is what the point is, then I think you are almost there. Now, if you write 50 essays, 2 daily, and get them marked by someone in about 4 weeks time, I'm talking about 1 month's practice, 1 month's practice here, you will be probably hitting an IELTS score of 7.5 to 8. I'm vouching that because I have spoken to a lot of students of mine who have appeared and they are eyeing for maybe Ireland or US or doing MS in the northern and the southern part of America. I think the North and the South America that I'm talking about, I think largely what they have to say is reading and writing takes good practice. And if you are serious, writing 50 essays maybe and getting it checked by an expert or a mentor, I think your score should be somewhere around 7.5 to 8, which is good to fetch a good university. 1. Second, good to fetch a good course. Third, good to get a good country to maybe work with or maybe start your journey of your career from, right? So I'm telling you the trick in writing. People hate writing. That's not so natural. We do not write every day. So if you were to write in your own mother tongue, you might struggle still, right? So write, and write. This is the three letter word formula for all of you all. Practice, practice, and practice. That's what I'm saying. Write, and write, because you are not used to writing. Practice writing. Once you have written something, get it checked by someone and ask them to point out the errors. So it's like ruthless. You are critically analyzing yourself and asking people to have a check on, ruthlessly check on yourself. So whether it is a grammatical error, whether it is to do with the framing, whether it is to do with the punctuation, whether it is to do with anything that of error-free sentence, I think you need to have that mentor working for you. So if you don't want to get it checked by someone, you can use Grammarly. I'll recommend that. Right? And there are a few more sites which I'll keep updating. So you need to have a very close watch on whatever I'm saying, right? To see which errors you are making. Like w.r.t grammar/sentence construction is important. Now, do not keep taking the IELTS test over and over again. Now, this is, I'm warning you, if you are doing it in number of tests, if you keep doing it very now and then, I think it should not help. You need to figure out that one test you have done, you need to analyze now what all things have gone wrong, how much was your score, what is that you are aiming for, what is the learning out of your test, and then perhaps go back, take a fresh guard, and then appear for the next test. Unless you have learned from the past test, the last test, I think do not appear for the next fresh one. That's what my point is. Now, keep taking the IELTS test over and over again, thinking you are just 0.5 band away. क्योंकि होता है ना अक्सर कि अरे यार मेरा 7 आया, मैं 7.5 ला के रहूंगा और मैं टेस्ट पे टेस्ट देता रहूंगा, तो उससे आपको बहुत ज़्यादा मदद नहीं मिलेगी. मेरा कहना यही है ना. तो you can do it on your own. Do it, analyze it, and then go back, take a fresh guard, and again come back. An average IELTS tests cost about $330 in Australia. Average cost $330. So if you take the test, let's say 4 tests, then the amount comes to, hi Rutul Deshmukh, you are there, good to see you, beta. IELTS I'm speaking about. So let's say if you are $330 in Australia, if it costs, then if you're taking 4 tests, then the amount, the final amount, or the landing cost to you for the 4 tests will be $1,320 approximately. You can pay someone maybe $200 to $250-ish, and they will mark about 10 to 15 essays for you. So there are a lot of people, what I'm trying to say is there are a lot of people. This pandemic has made our life little easier. The best part of this pandemic is you will be able to find good number of people who can give you a checking. And there is some cost, there is cost which is competitive. Now how you get, upgraded and updated, hire a few people, take the services of those mentors who are IELTS expert and ask them to check. They give you your review and you get better from there. So this is my idea of how to get better on the IELTS. Second, the most unnatural skill that we follow is reading. We do not read so often. And reading regularly subconsciously trains your mind to spot the errors, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. If you are reading consciously, then subconsciously the training also looks over the mistakes that you are doing, and your eyes get used to framing the correct sentences and identifying the errors there, and you are able to master it, right? Maybe get better with reading comprehension every now and then, and the writing part of it also. See, one skill is assisting the other. So reading is helping not only in writing but also in speaking. So mind you, some skills are not natural skills, which reading is, and you need to practice it to hone that skill and come it to a level where you are competitive, where you can call yourself competitive. So if you read a lot and then sometimes you try to write something, you will be able to spot the grammatical errors in your own writing. You might not know why something is wrong, but you will know it is wrong. So once identified that you have something gone wrong your way, so you can definitely share it with your mentor, ask them to correct themselves and get the understanding of it. How you get those nuances is the tips and tricks of good writing and the bad writing is, you know it for yourself and get it, recheck, validate it from the expert, and you are going to grow on it, right? That's the mantra. Now reading also helps you and gives you the ability to say something in many ways. Speaking, reading also helps you in speaking. Now let's say if you have a band of 5.5, right? A 5.5 band, what it will fetch you? There are many universities and countries you may apply to. You can study abroad. But there's one gentleman, I'm reading out a case study for you. He happened to get 5.5, and with that kind of a mediocre English, he was still able to get a course which was offered in that particular band, 5.5. But this gentleman was given a special advice by one of the mentor, stating that lifelong, if you will do an average kind of a learning and an average kind of spoken English, then I think perhaps you will not achieve your career goal. So a blunt answer, and what the expert advised, IELTS expert advises, do not think that once you have cracked, you stop learning English language. No. Now, even today, we are on it and we are learning English. Not because we are communication trainer, we want to be equally competent enough, but also we need to read a lot, because there are a lot of new updates which keep coming, and you need to adapt to that, become most modern and contemporary in your offerings, and you are talking to no other than the students of modern society. They are highly competitive, they know most of the things, and that's the reason it's a challenging area for all the trainers as well, the IELTS trainer as well. So I would say a band of 5.5, if you are able to get, and if you are able to get a university also, it might be a compromise decision. And once having cracked your band and getting a good university, you should still not stop at IELTS or English speaking or learning English as a language, because to master any language, what you need is those 4 skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And all should be practiced to master that particular language. English is just a language and nothing else. So I would say that 5 or a 5.5 band in IELTS will only reach you a mediocre university, a mediocre course, not the course that will take you to a greater heights. So let's not look at this, right? Okay, let me also try to put something in perspective, that people show a lot of value for the Canadian English Language Proficiency English program, which is called as CELPIP. So now the Canadian English Language Proficiency English program will designate as CELPIP. CELPIP and IELTS people talk about because Canada is a fascinating country. Most of the Indians, they want to go there and maybe wanting to settle there. So my idea of a Canada CELPIP or an IELTS, I would like to give you a comparative on both. Now let us talk about this. Now whether you are taking CELPIP or IELTS, both language proficiency test, which can make a big difference in your express entry comprehensive ranking score, which is called as CRS score. Both these tests are accepted by Immigration and Citizenship Canada. So while going in Canada, CELPIP will not only place you with some university, it will also be considered in terms of citizenship there, right? Now the question arises, which one is easier and which one is to choose, right? If you're going to Canada, I will try and formulate something which is meaningful for you. So meaningful for all of you all. Now the CELPIP and IELTS are both approved and accepted by CIC, Citizenship and Immigration Canada. So it's not a great deterrent factor whether you are doing CELPIP or IELTS. Second is, IELTS is used for study, work and immigration, whereas CELPIP is designed specifically to assess key language skills required for Canadian permanent residency and citizenship. So two different things. Now the key test components of both these tests are in the following manner. How it is, I'm trying to explain to you all. Follow this very closely. Now the CELPIP scoring is 1 to 12 for each section, whereas IELTS scoring is 1 to 9 for each section. Second, the listening section in CELPIP is 47 to 55 minutes, 7 components, a total of 46 questions, 40 scored, whereas in IELTS it is 30 minutes, 4 components and a total of 40 questions, all scored. That's the difference. Now the reading section in CELPIP is 55 to 60 minutes, 4 components, 38 to 45 questions, 38 scored, whereas IELTS is 60 minutes, 3 components, 40 questions. Now the writing section in CELPIP is 53 to 60 minutes, 2 components, but writing an email and responding to survey questions, whereas an IELTS is 60 minutes, 2 components, writing a letter and responding to a point of view argument or a problem. So that's the basic difference. Now the speaking section in CELPIP is 15 to 20 minutes, 8 components, a total of 8 short answers questions, whereas in IELTS it is 11 to 14 minutes, 3 components, introduction, individual speech and two-way discussion. That's it. Next is the CELPIP is computer-based test, where IELTS is paper-based. So that's the difference. Now the listening and reading sections in CELPIP contain a few unscored items that are used for test development and improvement. According to CELPIP website, unscored items are indistinguishable from the regular scored question and can be found anywhere within those 2 test sections. That's the difference. So before deciding on which exam you wish to give, you must also focus on the location and price, please. CELPIP is conducted in one 3-hour sitting on the computer. So it's one sitting 3 hour. So it's easy to keep a track of how much time is left for each of the tasks. When going by sections, CELPIP seems to have longer listening and speaking sections and a slightly shorter writing section. You should be knowing this beforehand. That's the reason I'm quoting it. Now, IELTS test takers, on the other hand, do not necessarily complete all the test components on the same day. That's the advantage. Although 3 of the test sections are completed in the same test room, the speaking section is done separately at a different time, day and possibly location also. So it can be taken up to a week before or after other sections. There is also no automatic computerized time tracking in IELTS. There is hardly any difference in the difficulty levels of both the exams. So I think both the tests are equally leveled. It is for you to decide on which pattern suits your requirement according to your capability. Now coming to few references, I'll tell you. Now there are strategies that perhaps you can possibly learn. So I'm trying to give you strategies to master these 4 skills very specific to IELTS. First, it is reading comprehension. The first thing first is, while you have less practice for reading, enhance the practice. Second is, if you have enhanced the practice reading and you are comprehending it and you are writing it, please, the third step is self-check and analyze why you get a wrong. Right? After having gone for a test, you're going for reading comprehension, you have appeared for, you marked your answers, and then you know that there was an answer wrong. So, and hold on to this, because I'm going to give you free online websites also where you can go and take a lot of tests. So hold on till last. I'm going to give you all this, but you need to wait till the last, right? So self-check and analyze why you get wrong. Now next step is write down new words and memorize them. New words and memorize them. I keep telling my students a lot, memorize them, right? Maybe if you are using it in some or the other form, maybe written or spoken form, in your practice, the natural practice, real-time practice, I think you need not to memorize, but you can memorize few words. Now next is highlight long and complicated sentences that you do not understand, boss. See, what you know of, you know of. What you understand, you understand. What you do not know of, what you are unaware of, what you do not understand, I think those needs to be worked up, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, that you need to understand, ask yourself, right? Ask. If you do not understand, then ask someone. The mentor that I'm talking about, or IELTS trainer, anybody whom you know, they can solve your problem, right? Now, record time, right? Hi Hitesh, good to see you after a long time, right? I'm speaking on IELTS today. And if you wish to go to a foreign country for your better prospect, I think this is very important for all of you all. So the next concern is record time. You have to finish 3 passages in 50 minutes, boss, and leave 10 minutes to check your carelessness. 50 minutes, 3 passages, leave at least 10 minutes for all the carelessness that you have done, you might have done, right? Second concern is, after you have done the reading comprehension, the writing part of it, listening. Now download the IELTS listening app and practice one set listening every day. You have an app, straight away go to the Play Store, download the IELTS listening. I'll definitely give you the link of it also. At the end of it, I'll give links of whatever that I have talked about, right? So need not to worry. Just try and understand, majorly what you can possibly understand, right? So download the IELTS listening app and practice one set listening every day. Second is, do not listen to it when you are on the bus or walking, because it never helps you. Do not challenge yourself and get busy, like I don't want to waste my time, so while traveling, while walking, do not do something of it. It requires your focus, concentration, efforts, time, energy, everything, boss. Please do not do it with that kind of a casualness. That's what I'm saying. Next is, prepare a pen and a piece of paper or a notebook, pause, listen again, and write down the part you are not sure. Example, like 18 to 19, British, Australian, American accent, all are different. So you need to get a practice of it and identify very discreetly that it is British, it is Australian, it is American, what kind of accent it is, right? And then you'll get used to it. That's the reason you need pen and paper and maybe pauses to go the correct way. Now be careful with similar words. For example, there are always confusion words, right? Just to give you an example, aspect, accept and accept, right? The confusing words, you know it, and there are plenty of it, right? There. So if you're listening, I think you need to nullify, neutralize that and stick to what you can connect with the meaning of that sentence if you're hearing it, listening it very properly. Now, the next major challenge is writing. Real model compositions, but do not copy. Please read model compositions, do not copy, learn the content structures only. Second, you must have your own ideas and critical thinking. So do not copy from here and there. Instead, believe in yourself and be yourself. Next is, do not use the same vocabulary more than 3 times. So if you are using, let's say, one word, for example, fascinated, right? Adulation, any kind of word that you are using, do not use it for more than 3 times in the entire passage, right? Next concern is, avoid using complex sentences to show off your English. Please do not show. Please do not show off. It's very simple. What do you know? Try to make it simple, right? Just clarify your ideas and main points in a logical way. That is what is desired. Let's come to the last concern, and that is speaking. The efficient way to save time for the speaking part is to check and predict questions on or near your exam date. Now, this requires practice, this requires intuition, this requires a lot of hard work. Second, focus on predict questions and practice. Let's say if I'm meeting a gentleman from, let's say, a chartered accountant, then I should be knowing what is debit, what is liability, what is an asset, right? That's how I prepared. A marketing guy, then what is probing, right? What is closure, right? What is closing? What is objection handling? So you need to, predict questions while you are interacting, or you are wanting to interact with a specific, arena, or maybe a part of any professional, practices, right? You need to know their vocabulary. So just predict those questions, what kind of questions might possibly come, and then I think you are ready, mostly. So IELTS certificate is known as TRF. IELTS certificate is known as TRF. It is the full form is Test Report Forum, which is provided in maybe 13 days of the test. In this form, you will find the breakdown of the test scores. So all the 4 sections, you will have different breakdown, the scoring of yours. Your test report form, that is TRF, will show the IELTS score you achieved on each part of the test: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. It also contains your band score, which is the overall average of all your test results, right? And Your test report form will be valid for a recommended period of 2 years, right? So this validity of your entire report certificate is only for 2 years. So recognizing organizations will not usually accept a test report form that is more than 2 years. So you, after having appeared for IELTS exam, have only 2 years to approach your university and maybe get yourself functional to that particular university. Now there are various things required. There are SOP required. There is LOR required. I'm forming a template of SOP and LOR, which I'll upload it in within my 1 minute of YouTube shorts. So in case if you want how an SOP, an ideal SOP should be, a professional SOP should be, or a letter of recommendation LOR should be. So I would definitely give you that format very soon. From next week onward, I've already started with a lot of YouTube shorts giving you the templates and all those nuances within that 30 to 40 seconds, which saves your time, my time, and you get your the desired idea or a template or a format at the shortest time. And that is what I'm going to do, because I have loads of format with me, which I'm uploading on my YouTube channel for the benefit of all. Those who are job seekers, those who want to go to MS, want to crack GRE, want to crack TOEFL or IELTS, or maybe plenty of examinations that you might be part of, or the job seekers who are taking a very specific company. I have designations also, and what is their requirement, how they put you to test, how many tests are there for each company. I'm going to give you that as well, all in the format coming one after the other every day. So mind you, all job seekers, all those who are aspiring to go abroad, all those who are looking for an apt professional format and template, I think this is a platform for all of you all, right? So this is what I'm wanting to inform you all at this point. Okay, recognizing organizations will not usually accept a test report form that is more than 2 years. I've already told you. Unless you provide evidence that you have actively maintained or tried to improve your English since you first took the test. So there is an explanation part, right? Now, therefore, IELTS certificate is only valid for two years. Now, is it difficult to take IELTS? Let's take this biggest question and try and address it. So here is the main focus, the highlight of the entire discussion. Now in 4 sections of IELTS lies, I am unfolding the research fact of, is it difficult to crack an IELTS? So please understand this, listen to this very carefully. Now in 4 sections of IELTS, listening, reading, writing and speaking, I would say that reading is quite difficult. And why? Because listening, the first 3 sections are quite simple. You can easily score 25 out of 30 with normal practice. And in 4th section, which is a daunting task, you can score 5 out of 10. That's where you come down exactly 50%. But if you practice regularly and expose yourself to different accents, that's where I quoted an example of Australian, British and American. I don't see any reason why you can't score a minimum of 8 bands. So the criticality of listening comes in the 4th test, and that normally fetches you the 50% mark. And if you are able to identify the accents and maybe the words, how they pronounce it, then it gets easier for you to master or overcome it. Second part is writing. Now, if you have read 15 types of all tasks, task 1 example like line chart, bar chart, pictorial descriptions, etc., and 15 types of all task 2, that is all essay types, then you will understand how to write in specific writing area. I'll repeat: task 1, line chart, bar chart, pictorial description, and 15 types. So 15 types of all task. Task 1, line chart, bar chart, pictorial description, I've already told you. Type 2, all essay types. Then I think it gets easier, that you are able to pick and identify that this is type 1, this is type 2, right? That's how you need to plan yourself. So writing won't be that much of a problem, but reading is definitely a major concern. Now speaking, you might find speaking very hard while you are practicing at home. So as some of us are not habituated to speak English at home, we don't have that much grip on spoken English. But don't worry, exam pattern is very easy, and examiners are very supportive while speaking. So I'm killing that nervousness. I'm killing that major failure quotient which you might possibly think before. So do not assume, do not form assumptions. Rather, you know now that examiners are very supportive. They'll coax you, they'll maybe pester you, they'll give you sufficient time to back up your spoken English acumen, and you might come back again, rephrase, reframe, and reinforce your statement. So they give you, they assist you, they help you, but only thing is it should come out from you. So you need to make a conscious effort, right? They encourage you to speak more if it's not enough, so you need to still speak more. With 1 to 2 hours of daily speaking practice, you are ready to go, boss, but provided you are doing it at least for a month. 1 month's practice, right? Now the last part is reading. As I've already told you, it's the most difficult part of an IELTS because there are 40 questions which you have to complete within 60 minutes. Daunting task. That means you have 1.5 minutes for one question. Practically putting it as arithmetics. In that much time, you have to read the whole question, understand it, find the answer, and write in the OMR sheet. That's called as the OMR sheet. Also, in the MCQ type questions, you will find all the answers are correct, but it's not. Generally, it happens that you oh, this is also looking like correct. 1, 2, 3, 4, all of 4 options. No, had there been had it been a case like that, then how would you figure out that there is a answer, a definite answer being marked by the examiner, and he knows it. So if he knows it, you might as well need to know it. So that's the trick. You need to very close, and reading comprehension will help you to identify the most correct answer. Also, in giving titles to paragraphs, at times you need to give titles to the paragraph. You will be confused as you find 2 to 3 titles suitable to one paragraph. So let's say T/F/NG are also pain to mind. It's definite pain to mind. So once you are stuck with a question, you will forget your sense of time, and time is running. So you need to work out that before, have enough practice, so that at the most opportune time, the time management will be there, and reading comprehension, the passage will get the right title. Stick to only one. If you have 3 in mind, the most apt you need to pick and just give it as a title, right? And most of the time the title is there in the reading comprehension itself. So you can try in one of the Facebook groups. I'm giving you 2 Facebook group where this IELTS candidates and IELTS tutors, they are there interacting. So this will give you a great interface platform to have a greater interaction, and maybe you can find your next mentor on these 2 groups. So I'm giving you both the groups name. What you need to get, jot it down at your end, or maybe listen to me carefully and be part of these groups, because these are the professional groups, and you will have a lot of corrections coming, and maybe upgradation coming of your own versions. So IELTS tips and tricks is one group. IELTS tips and tricks is one group in Facebook. Go and join them. The second is IELTS writing club. So at times you want to write and show it to some tutor whether you have written it correctly or not. I think I'm giving you one such platform which is free of cost. If you are in probability, you will definitely be in possibility of cracking IELTS next. So that's my suggestion to you. Now, how can I get an 8 in IELTS exam, and especially writing exams? So here I'll like to answer this, but I would also like to give you some more insights of the links. Since I was talking about this Facebook platform, I am also wanting to give the other links and quickly touch on how to get 8. The last question that I'm addressing on this platform is how to touch 8, right? The 8, the score, the band 8 in IELTS. But before that, I'm giving you 4 online platforms. Just jot it down. Now, Magosh is one app. Go in the the store and try to get this app downloaded. It will help you a lot. Magosh. It's it's tried and tested from most of the IELTS who have appeared. Most of it has come from as a recommendation from most of my students. The second is there is mini-ielts.com, which is free practice site for IELTS test. mini-ielts mini-ielts.com, जाओ वहां पर फ्री का टेस्ट लो. Now E for elephant and 2 as the number 2. IELTS is a YouTube platform where you can get a lot of tutorials, get your better understanding with IELTS examination. And the last is there is libgen.is, which is library general, libgen.is, which is an online site for specific IELTS, right? So I wish that you have noted down, and this will be of great help. I wish that you have understood every bit of it, right? And you will definitely do all the needful, so that it will certainly serve a great purpose, boss, all of you all. Now all these online platforms I've researched out, and I know that they will help you a lot, right from the start to the practice part of it, and maybe getting better. Just mark yourself on a scale of 1:10 and see how much you have fared well. And this is a entire practice of, let's say, not more than 3 months. If you are trying to get into IELTS today, and the third month, if you see how you have shaped up yourself and understanding of all the 4 skills, then I'm very sure the 4th month you should appear. That's again a recommendation come from a lot of students who have already appeared and cracked the IELTS exam on a bandwidth of 7 to 8. And I'm talking about students who have fared well, students who haven't done well, and I've clubbed both of them as a lesson for this particular session today. So the last question that remains to be answered, and that is the most critical part of it, and I would say I will definitely dwell upon that. So I'm giving you those 6 valuable sentences, right, which you need to take care. How can you get 8 as in band 8 in IELTS writing? Now, academic or general can be accomplished if at the time of practice you have a critical mindset. So you need to develop a critical mindset, boss, right? What you say, you have a logic to say. What you say, you have a reason to say. I think that is what is critical mindset, because you know the topic and you are able to give a logic to it, and you are able to understand the nuances of technical writing. So you need to have an understanding of technical writing. What is technical writing? What is business writing? Again, I'm reminding you all that I'm going to give you a template on both the aspect, technical writing and the business writing, so that you differentiate what it is, and maybe take an help of whether you are into business or into technical writing to understand the nuances, right? So I'm giving you that covering as one specific video, which is a YouTube short for only 1 minute, and I'll upload it very soon. So I'm giving you that. I'm giving you SOP, LOR, and I'm giving you all the websites that you might have a great help working with IELTS. Now, second point is, I would recommend you to follow the tips given as follows. And what is that? Now, what is that? Is that offer meaning and context which majorly fetch an 8 band would be that make sure that during the preparation phase, you quickly start implementing complex sentences as quick as possible. Now, the challenge is there are complex sentences, right? And you are wanting it to make, understand it and simplifying and comprehend it, and try to practice that, right? Which is not difficult, but only thing is that those complex sentences need a better reading, a better comprehension, better interpretation, and maybe a better writing of your own word, right? Own understanding. Now, 6 valuable sentences I'm giving to you how to score 8, and I'm giving you all the examples so that you better on the nuances that I was talking about, the complex sentences. Now, here I begin. Now, these are the tips, right? Writing task will make your essay foolproof. I'm saying about the essay. Now, how the essay comes is, right? Follow the instruction carefully. Copy the sentences given below, right? I'm trying to give you now. Analyze and give them the correct logic, and maybe phrase your own sentence. The first one, right? 6 valuable sentences, I'm giving it to you all. Now, for example, you will get a question. This essay will break down this issue using the cases from, if this is asked, and this is the pattern it is asked like. You need to write further, right? I'll repeat. This essay will break down this issue using the cases from. So how you need to write is, this essay will explore this issue using the cases from wartime nations and struggle zones to validate points. Or this essay will investigate. In the first I said explore, in the second I'm saying this essay will investigate this issue by using examples from India, maybe Australia, America or England to validate points. Elaborate. Try and understand how I'm elaborating. You need to elaborate your essay likewise. I hope you have got the first example. Now the second example. Again the essay part. In infusing a restricting idea rather than writing only, however, you can use however. It should not be forgotten that vaccination will not alone suffice. You still need to wear your mask and sanitize your hand, right? Infusing a restricting idea called as however, right? Rather than writing only however, right? You can go ahead and say, however, it should not be forgotten that having vaccinated will not suffice. You still need to wear your mask and sanitize your hand, of course, maintaining the social distancing as well, right? This is the second example. Number 3, mention examples from studies you have made so far using the expressions. How? For instance, a current report by, right? You can use those facts and figures and maybe take an help of all those current reading of yours which you can recall at that point of time and go ahead and do it. For example, for instance, a current report by the government of India showed dash dash dash, and then write the details of the discoveries. Maybe for example, for instance, a current report by the India Skill Report shows that 50% of the women, stop their job at some point of time, right? And give the reason like why, because of their maybe domestic emergencies or maybe domestic compliances, so on and so forth, and give them the statistics. I think that is more than enough. Number 4, refer to another example. Now I am giving you the statistics part of it, one, and the second is the example also of research paper. Now Google research is one good reference. Go to that, you will find a number of research paper. So you can give quote research paper utilizing another expression. How? Take for example a current report by NASCOM. Take for example a current report by the National Skill Development. Take for example a current report by the Digital India. Take for example a current report by the startups, right? You can quote this example. That gives clarity, right? Only why we are taking help of statistics and the example is to establish the credibility one and the clarity part of what we are thinking and what we are writing, basically. For example, I've given you enough example on this, right? So let me come to the 5th one. Rather than saying there is a proof that, you can state, instead of saying there is a proof that means you are claiming, you are wanting to claim it, right? You're making a statement. Instead choosing that way, you can choose a better way, and the better option is there is sufficient proof to recommend that, and then go ahead and make a statement. There is sufficient proof is a beautiful statement. Rather than there is a proof that, it goes as a general statement. But when it say there are sufficient proof, that means more than one axioms to prove what you're wanting to say, right? For example, there is a sufficient proof to recommend that researchers will expeditiously find one day global warming and arrest it, right? So this is how it is. There is a sufficient proof to recommend that the neighborhood government will execute nuclear war. For example, I'm just quoting, right? Just quoting an example, nothing to do with the facts and figures. Just quoting an example for your better understanding. Number 6, out of the 6, this is the last one. And if you are listening to me, if you are able to follow what I'm saying, I think these sentences, how you should phrase making an essay or completing the sentence, will help you a lot, boss. And many of you fail. And this is again coming from one of my student who has appeared and who has cracked, and who who finds, this is a girl that I'm talking about, and she has found this very, very easy, and that's the reason she told me, sir, you're making a video on IELTS, let me help you out in these 6 sentences, which I did, and I fared well. So I'm quoting the last one. Rather than generalizing and enumerate, give examples to illustrate. For example, electronics devices have what? Now, GB, for example, you are buying a gadget like this laptop. So that reminds me, I'll covering one great how to buy a laptop, a good laptop. I'll cover one template on that also and give you very soon a YouTube short video, right? But if you're buying a laptop, then what is that Intel? What is the most Core to Duo, and how many GB of RAM, ROM, right? You need to understand every bit of it. So electronic devices, for example, if you're buying the phone, the PC and the laser printers have significantly enhanced staff productivity. So if you're talking about your organization, then you need to speak every nitty-gritty of whatever it takes, right? Or maybe serious infections are a repeating manner. I'm talking about corona, right? With serious illness, for example, intestinal sickness, or maybe the HIVs or the dengue fever, the latest one, dengue is there in and around, involve a significant amount of expenses. You do not know it. So better take an preventive measure. Now I'm just elaborating and stretching it for your own benefit. And I hope with all these examples, I have come very straightforward to explaining IELTS, the 4 components of IELTS, how much time it takes, what is the difference between the computer based and the manual based, what things you should focus on, how this CELPIP, which is a Canada IELTS, and how it differs from IELTS, and help you to make a conscious choice whether you want to go to Canada or America or England or North America or South American countries. I don't know, but I'm giving you a clarity. I've also give you a clarity of listening. I'll also give you lots of online mentions of those sites where you can go take test, those Facebook group that you can possibly get associated with and better your understanding of IELTS and find a mentor for yourself only for the correction. I have also given you lastly how to score 8 if you are those 6 sentences and how to rephrase them in a better version. So I think with IELTS I have this, but if you are doing an MS, I'll cover a separate video on how to go about doing an MS. I have students who have already gone doing their MS, who are preparing for MS, so I'll definitely accumulate all of those datas, and maybe if I can have their videos also, which I can share on my YouTube channel, I'll definitely do that. Now mind you all that this is a channel for job seekers, this is a channel for all the students who are aspiring to do maybe higher studies or maybe going abroad, and this is PROF. Manish Nair signing off only to see that if you have enough feedback, wanting to know more subject detail about it, I'm always on with my research and coming on this platform and giving you the nuances, tips and tricks to excel in life. With that said, I have already completed 1 hour and I hope I have added value as I keep doing it for all of you all. So share these, this video and many of these kind, so that many of the parents are aware of and they get an informed choice. See, you might go to an coaching class, you might go and incur a good expense, but you need to go informed way so that you are not wasting on the time, the energy point, right? Money is something which is recoverable, which is ephemeral, right? It will come and it will go, but time and energy is something that you need a better informed, best investment to make. And that's the choice I'm giving it on my platform. That's where I come into picture and I keep giving you all the nuances and the finesse of knowing, getting informed and taking a plunge for your better tomorrow. Thank you for being with me and have a great day. Happy Navratri till Dashera, right? Enjoy yourself. Bye-bye.